Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you?
Huh? What are you talking about?
The evening breeze is like a melody.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Wala. Selamat hari Jumat. Mga lanjut. Sambil makan guys.
The evening breeze is like a melody.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Lanjut.
Huh, good roll.
Kenapa?
All right, maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it.
Katanya yang enak.
Ayamnya aku kurang
Oh enggak, tanggung jawab.
suka.
Pakai nasi.
Your perspective is just tunnel visioning.
Your theory is just putting the cart before the horse.
I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again.
Mackie Jut. Kita lanjut dengan Archon quest kita yang panjang dan tidak kelar-kelar.
Let's
Sampai
continue our
konten.
chat here. Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages, Nahida? Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now, I want to hear your thoughts. We're in the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their goals, any rash move could tip them off and lead to terrible consequences. After all, every person in Sumeru City is one of their hostages. I've already tried that, but all the key members of the Academia, even the core 30 guards, intentionally avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. It seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course, it could also be because they're wary of me. Have you already caught the sage's attention? I'm guessing not yet. But distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid attention to the urban legends about me. In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly. No way, that's too risky. You mean it'd be too easy to... No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. A single mistake could completely ruin their lives. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that any different from what the sages are doing?
Correct. Benar.
That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru. Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have something in mind, right? Don't keep us in suspense. Spill the...
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal.
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously.
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't...
You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound like... Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Alhaitham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the Academia's back. They probably...
Actually, I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that female scholar named Sataria?
Setaria.
Sataria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she the one who's always trailing behind? We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could even say we're old enemies by now. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Nilu.
I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Sataria has always stood out from the crowd. She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the Academia, and also gave her the opportunity to serve as the sage's assistant.
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries.
The name Sataria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star, and later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
From the sound of it, Sataria's just hung up on the... But she doesn't really support the Academia. She still feels guilty.
Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore. She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes and right. We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself. From my past observations, Sataria will take a day off from the Academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. That'll be our to prepare. Let's go check out some of her favorite spots. This should be Sataria's favorite fortune-telling spot.
So should we ask the fortune teller about Sataria?
No, I already have enough information on Sataria. The most important thing now is for you to pay attention to the vendor's talking style and key character.
Talking style and...
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fates? The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way.
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to...
Shh! My friend here has some doubts regarding her future. Can we get a fortune reading for her?
It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, You have somehow offended the gods.
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the Lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Love prospect? Oh, The one who is fated to cross your path will appear on... Huh? So many people will fall for you. How could that be? Harut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune-telling you've ever done.
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is, suboptimal. As such, there...
Is that so? Well, that can't be...
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit...
Is this another one of Sataria's favorites?
Yep. It belongs to a king. His father helped Sataria a lot when she first moved to Sumeru City. So when I start talking with him, listen,
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take...
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Speaking of, where did you...
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret. And I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's nice. You're making a living.
So is your...
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough Mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
Menarik. Bentar ya.
I see. We wish him... I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods.
No problem. Rest easy, all...
Adventure plans, my lady.
This should be our final stop. Sataria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia. So she...
Nahida, you've written...
It's my duty to protect Sumeru's citizens.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before. Huh? If I recall, you were having a
Ah, that's right! After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and out of the port. I came to Sumeru to study, but I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars. And I'm continuing to study and perform research from the restaurant's basement. I'm sure I'll get to the
What an admirable spirit for learning.
Sure. But you'll find find hardworking people wherever you go.
So this restaurant has a basement as well?
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for break.
I see. Yes, that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chisha.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the academia as an official student.
So, was that...
Mm-hmm. 3 familiar faces.
What's the point of all the information we've collected?
Zetaria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find out. I remember you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormuz are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of King Deshret. Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may
Oh, Paimon gets it now! You want to take advantage of the guilt Zetaria feels about her homeland. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with...
Well, King Deshret is long gone, and Zetaria is also too smart. If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Deshret's believers, she would definitely be wary of us. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her,
So, you mean you're going to...
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply they've already as long as everything goes smoothly.
Ah, so that's how you're going to use all the info we collect.
Exactly.
Huh? Best of luck!
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha terminal, the effect will basically...
That is pretty convenient.
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at imitating them.
You're not wrong. It's always been
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are now...
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing...
Alright, then let's give...
Tik-tok, 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 tik-tok.
Here she comes. Zetaria,
Let's quietly follow her. Once she starts talking to her acquaintances, we'll ask her how we'll sway her to our side. I'll leave that to you.
Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find...
That's right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook. Are you still listening to me, Nabia?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your love life, right?
Okay then. You just seem strange. Your cats seem pretty worked. I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again? Ah, that's right. They are just little darlings, aren't they?
So, which fortune?
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've...
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project at work? I really just want to get it over.
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods are asking, Sitaria.
Why haven't I gone home? Do the gods really know everything?
Sitaria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question.
I'm sorry. I know I failed the god. And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to you right now?
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god...
King Deshret? No wonder he would make such demand of me. Wait a sec. Even though news of King Deshret's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can King Deshret still exist in real life?
What insolence! I am King Deshret's most loyal believer.
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
Whoa! She just ran off in a hurry.
Well done. Sitaria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss. To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core.
Aw, Nahida, it seems like...
All I know are some abstract... Anyway, enough of that.
She's out of Keem's now, right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him right up...
It's okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again? Oh, right. Your old man's craft. Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better? Oh, that's good to hear. I have been thinking a lot about him. Actually, while we're talking about him, is he still...
Yeah, he's been retired there for...
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Let him know that recently, faith in he has a quick temper, and is always...
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The academia? I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray King Deshret, and now you spend all your
Akeem, you don't mean... you've...
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one...
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa! Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this!
You really zeroed in on me, but once everything
Come on! Sitaria's already started talking with Shishan.
So, Shishan, like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
Oh, right. Speaking of strange things, I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible.
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's...
Shishan, don't tell me that you've converted to King Deshret as well!
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of... In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed?
Please, please stop!
Even now, Sitaria's still trying to run from her problems.
She can no longer justify everything to herself.
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards.
This is the most important part of all.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matra right away. The situation in the city.
Please, try to remain calm, miss. Tell me what's happening in the city.
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking about?
King Deshret. Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long dead.
Miss Sataria, King Deshret is immortal, and all who you must face the truth, Sataria. You tread a treacherous path, child of King Deshret. Never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret.
Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more believers of King Deshret. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the Sage's plans, and from ignoring the But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides, did you really want to conduct your research while carrying such heavy feelings of guilt?
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of King Deshret? Or are you—
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps it could serve as a form of—
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a fated opportunity for me to get out of this wretched situation. Please tell me, what can I—
How much do you know about the Sage's current activities?
I was just one of the designers for the massed dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around the Sub-Zeru's festival. But I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff with the highest clearance would have access to those I've just been working to meet the Grand Siege. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city. And even the sages are still quite wary of—
To fight against the academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way—
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage. One thing, though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. The sages have all— let me see— let's use the
academia entrance.
Don't worry about that. I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the
All right, I trust you.
So,
that'll depend on—
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. As the God of Wisdom, she's also the one responsible for judging, and maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe.
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring Sataria to our—
The Traveler's execution was ingenious. She's the— Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow—
Pray? But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God of Wisdom and Guardian of—
No. The truth is the true guardian of scholars. I've always believed—
Good roll. All right, Maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it.
Catherine, we're here! Oh, you are the other...
That's right. I suppose I'm the other Catherine in your mind.
Shh! We're on a secret mission tonight, so we need to protect Catherine.
Yep, Paimon's right. We cannot fully... If something were to happen, my existence may be the only trump card we'll be after all.
Yep, exactly. Just what Paimon was thinking. Anyway, enough about that. Let off? What do you feel is off? It's the middle of...
No, I think she's right. If you look around, there seems to be fewer people on the streets.
Huh.
I also can't quite figure out why things...
Well, we're Huh. There really aren't many people out... people doing here at this hour of the night?
Ah, the triumphant hero returns at last. And to a rather spectacular welcome, even if I do say so myself.
You're the outcast, expelled from the academia.
Indeed I am. Although these days they tend to call me the Doctor. If you're looking for your researcher friend, she has already been taken into confinement. With some basic caution, she could have discovered the listening device on her person. Clearly, she lacks the degree of rigor expected of a true scholar.
The people of Sumeru City. What have you done to them?
I simply made some minor adjustments to their Akasha terminals. Now they can deposit information directly into the subconscious. As you can see, all these lovely people now believe this traveler is a hero who has just saved the world. My experiment is a success. And now it seems they can no longer hold back their sheer adoration.
No, what should we do? These are all just regular people.
Leave now. You need to get out of here.
What? That guy's a Fatui Harbinger! We can't just leave you here!
Nor can I abandon the people of Sumeru! Don't worry. We'll meet again outside of the city.
I see. You appear to have overridden their mental faculties with your own consciousness. To possess such a powerful mind, you must be the god of wisdom.
Gokil. Padahal gue bisa lawan.
This should be far enough. Is the Hida going to be okay? We only made it out because of her. Paimon wasn't counting on... and that even the sages are wary of him. Yep. Sounds like she must have been talking about... Yeah. But what are the Fatui after this time? Another... Yeah. Nahida said we'll meet again outside of the city. But... you mean... Oh, right! Even though he turned, there's no time to loop.
nggak ada ini ya? Mana bos Tiknari, bos?
Hold it right there. A blonde-haired traveler and a floating fairy. We've got you, all right. Take a look around. You...
Are you mercenaries?
Core of 30? We're nothing like those. We are an elite brigade that commands the highest...
The outcast? And why wouldn't the doctor just send the Fatui after us?
Still...
You're up, Trap.
So asik lo, nih lo, makan mau komentar. Itu aja.
That's close enough. New punching bag.
Things are about to get dicey.
Need.
It isn't over yet. Here comes reinforcements.
Quietly now.
Easy.
That was pretty rough. Is that what elite? Yeah. Looks like, but this doctor guy seems like a pretty tough opponent. He knew exactly. Going up against smart people.
Dulu nggak sih?
Easy money.
Easy money. Jolly.
Oh, it's the traveler Paimon. Kale, it's nice to see you.
To be honest, I'm not doing too well. As a result...
Oh, Kale. Speaking of Tainari, did he go up?
Oh, Master Tainari? You just left the NVIDIA forest a little...
He left? But isn't that...
I thought it was weird too. Master Tainari always prioritizes his work. No, I only found out that he left... to leave in such a... Master Tainari originally studied in the Immortal Darshan of the Academia. And part of... I know that before he became a Forest Watcher, Master Tainari once spent a long...
A research base, huh? God, oh, we don't have a lot of time, so let's go look for him at Party's DI.
Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm used to living with...
Got it. Will do.
Dah.
Wait! Look who it is! Thank goodness you're okay. We were so worried about you. Hey! This was supposed to be a touch and
Actually, it's very smart of the Traveler to be wary of me right now. After all, the Doctor has shown that his technology can apparently even control human flesh. It's not like you could have known what happened after we split up, and I was facing the Doctor by myself. Even a pool of stagnant water after a torrential storm can occasionally
Paimon feels like only the real Nahida could come up with such an obscure analogy.
Huh? But I wasn't trying to win your trust or anything.
Well, we understand that point now. Please,
When you left, I was still in the middle of restoring everyone's minds. Thankfully, when the doc instead, he did something closer to creating hallucinations. Luckily, I managed to finish my restorations and...
What a relief.
I wouldn't be really... I gave away my true identity when I restored everyone's minds. Which means we've lost another one of our Also, the doctor is already an expert at modifying Akasha terminals. Maybe it's only a matter...
Would that mean you'd no longer be able to jump between minds? Then, how do we stop him? He's still... It feels like he's toying with... Plus, the doctor's combat ability alone is apparently enough to make him worthy of...
We shouldn't give up hope just yet. Let's try to find another way to attack this...
Actually, Nahida, how did you know we were trying to get to...
Yes, I have. I can see the Traveler's elemental energy, so I deduced your destination by looking at the direction you were... You didn't come here for sightseeing, right?
We're looking for a...
Okay.
Shot.
Take it easy.
Hai Pasha.
Traveler?
It's Hypatia!
What a pleasant surprise!
Who's this?
She's a scholar we met in the NVIDIA forest. When we last saw each other, she was still training in the...
Oh, I see.
That's right, we're old friends. You've come at just the right time. Ever since I've come here,
Hypatia, you're way too excited about this. Actually, Wait, no. Did you...
What do you think? My consciousness has already...
You did it? Congratulations!
It's so when my consciousness made contact with the gods.
That sounds incredible!
Oh, all right. Remember? I promised to help you. My current self has not only...
You can do that?
I've never heard of anything like that, but...
Hold on. I brought some spirit...
We're...
All right now. Hold my hand. I'll help...
Okay.
Ready?
It took 3 betrayals for me to finally understand. The world is just an elaborate tapestry of lies. My fury will never be quelled. The first to betray me was a god. My creator. My mother. Valuing strength above all, she saw no worth in me and I was discarded. The second was a human. My family. My friend. Consumed by fear, he saw me as an abomination. The third was one exactly like me. A hope for the future. A fledgling barely out of the nest. Powerless before his mortality, he broke his promise to me. Humans, they can't be trusted. And the gods fill me with pure loathing. So I said good riddance. I denounced the world and laughed in its face. My chest will never again be defiled by worldly filth. I will scrub away every last trace of human emotion. Then it will be empty, a blank slate, and ready to receive a supreme gnosis, brimming with pure divinity. There is no need to fear. The pain will be brief. Your era is coming to an end.
Scarlett.
actually just see the Balladier's memories? Everything matches what. But how is he connected to the divine consciousness that Hypatia was telling?
You saw it, right? You felt it, right? Such a majestic. Alas, shame. If only that which beats within my chest was.
Do you understand now? I'm afraid this is no periporno life, but rather...
Ah! You! Why are you so mean to... I found divine wisdom. Shouldn't I receive praise and honor?
Hypatia?
That's how I always thought Wait, have I... already lost my mind?
Wow, ngambek.
Wait, something isn't right.
Anjing gokil nih sinematik. Baladir.
Okay, we finally lost him. Are you okay, Nahida?
Oh, the Traveler's back?
Nahida was controlling your body for a while. It seemed like she jumped over to you as an emergency measure right before the cavern puppet was destroyed. After that, Tainari heard the commotion and came over. He helped us defeat the mercenaries and then he ran with us all the way here. What? You swapped places? You mean you're... Wait, then where is Nahida's consciousness? Where is she now?
I never imagined that an individual's consciousness could be transferred around like this. Had I not seen it with my own eyes, I would have never believed it. I don't think that... Also, while we were running, the consciousness in your body told me to pass on a message. She said, the doctor has found a way to trap my consciousness. So I can't journey with you anymore. But even in a moonless night, a shower of...
Oh no! Nahida's trapped. Was that message all she left for us? It's pretty vague. Oh, that makes sense. Since the doctor captured her, she won't be even in a moonless night. A shower of... Huh. Paimon knows the moon... Didn't Nahida use a starlight analogy before? It had something to do with Sataria. Oh, but she...
Paimon, you said Sanctuary of Surasthana, correct? Does this mean that this Nahida you're talking about, the consciousness...
Your guess is correct.
That's all right. A scholar's curiosity doesn't need to be appeased right away. As for the complicated nature of the situation, I've spent some time with you, and it looks like the Dendro Archons also...
Thank you, Tainari. Oh, actually, we can...
Ah, that. While I was indeed invited to join that project, the sages were always secretive about its scope and goals, so I eventually declined. All I know is that the project has something to do with the restoration of Irminsul.
Huh? Did you see something when you were in the heat? What?
Do you have any evidence? So that's what happened. That explains why Hypatia's symptoms were different from those of the other scholars who went mad. It's because she made contact with the
Tighnari, did you leave the NVIDIA for—
I did. I noticed Hypatia's mental anomalies. If I didn't take action, Hypatia would have already been taken by the Matra to the desert, doomed to a life of— Now that you mention it, I knew the Academia has never thought particularly highly of Lesser Lord Kus, but I still didn't expect them to do something as arrogant as creating a new god, the Doctor and the Balladeer. We have 2 Fatui Harbingers in Sumeru. From your description, I don't think they've completed their project. But then, what is—
Yeah, it feels like we're still nowhere close to figuring out the Sage's goals. Right.
I'll stay here for now. If you're planning to go into the desert, start by heading for Caravan Ribat. That'll be your— Come find me here if there's anything else I can do to help.
Thanks, Tighnari. Hopefully Hypatia—
We're off then.
We finally made it to Caravan Ribat. It's pretty— So, just past this wall is the dead— Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the outside. Oh, if it's this tall—
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
Huh?
Over here.
Oh, Haven went that way! Let's hurry up and follow him. I wonder what he's up to.
Yes. I'll hate them.
What the? Where did she go? How did we lose them? They were—
More Eremite mercenaries? Who are they working for this time?
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago. There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at—
You really gave Paimon a scare, Alhaitham. We never— Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the Academia? Wait, don't tell Paimon that you're here to take us back on their orders!
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the Academia's hit list. I can't say that I didn't expect it. However, had I wished to turn you over to the Academia, don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests by now?
Oh, right. You do have a point.
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy. And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the sages can offer. Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Unfortunately, everyone says the which brings me back to you. The leader of Ain al-Ahmar used the Divine Knowledge Capsule right in front of you. And upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed, and you were lost in thought for quite— To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something. Are you interested at all in sharing what you've been hiding from—
Alhaitham, you really have a ridiculous eye for detail.
So that's your answer. Well, But that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the divine knowledge. No matter. Rather than...
That's right! We have the same plan as you! But we don't really have any concrete goals at...
Then I'd suggest starting with Aru Village. It's the largest settlement in the desert, so it'll probably have more resources and intel than anywhere else. Well, would you like to head there together?
It's always better to travel with...
Let's go. Aru Village lah. Udah sampai. Buka kan?
Before us lies Aru Village, the safe haven of the desert folk.
Whoa, this land...
Chino.
Simon. Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Mahamatra's wrath?
Oh, Hatham. Do not think you can escape my judgment, just because you managed to escape my attack.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it? Or would elimination perhaps be a more accurate description?
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard.
Seemed to me more like your own person. Yes. General Mahamatra Sino, head of all the Matra at the Academia. He's a formidable hunter, and the ultimate nightmare for any who have committed academic crimes.
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Hatham, to the point of blocking an attack for him. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I wouldn't believe a single word that comes out of his mouth. I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer. Otherwise...
Has Hatham done something wrong? Hyman doesn't think he's as bad as...
I won't waste my breath explaining things. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes a Matra's...
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, as far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your disappearance. Have you been given a mission that's... Let's say, if I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of the Academia?
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two! Ugh! What you would do, Traveler?
Well, look at you two, acting all tough and self-righteous over there.
Wait, Dia? Great! Finally, someone up! You gotta help us out.
Yeah, sure looks that way. 2 giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get to see every day. Now, listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each. But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru Village? It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds. Hey, did
you here...
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so strong.
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here, quick!
Someone's calling for us! Oh.
That sounded like Candace. Come on, you two. Jeez, are all of you academia folks such hard work? Move!
All right.
Marahin. Watot na, wantot. Wantot.
Well, hey, wanna play sardines with 3 people who wanna tear each other? The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies. Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace.
Our save. Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon.
There's no need to thank me.
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister.
All right. Now that we're all better acquainted, we should return to the topic at hand. As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar, even before the sandstorm started. And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you pose no threat whatsoever to us. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and put your hostile feelings to rest. If anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures of the sandstorm.
Oh, on second thought, Paimon.
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make myself clear?
All right,
That's what I like to hear.
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway, one of those two should probably start talking.
Wait, that was you trying to be a mediator?
I have nothing to hide, so there's no shame in explaining myself. While Al-Haytham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, a little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files. What little they did report clearly did not match the project's actual progress. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However, to my surprise, the person responsible for the erroneous data was none other than Grand Sage Azar himself. I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request, but I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of incriminating evidence, I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the very... Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. He even said to me, "The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right to judge us."
So they really are...
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages to assert and maintain their control over knowledge. The vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the academia of today. I believed it would be wise to flee the academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. This way, I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority. Once I find the truth...
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scary. Well, Sino, if...
When I was investigating the matter in the academia, I overheard a conversation between Al-Haytham and a sage. The sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Al-Haytham? Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with the Divine Knowledge Capsule, and I think we deserve an explanation.
Yes, I was indeed tasked with investigating the truth.
I'll hate them!
After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you... Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information. Namely, that divine knowledge indeed exists. That gave me all I needed to know. From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone, even as a reward? So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the divine knowledge capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing to this rather than... Had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ainul Ahmar mercenary, incapable of remaining sane for long enough to hold a conversation.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the
Mana
so he
Satrio
was quite a
nih?
surprise when I...
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Udah gua katain di grup WA.
Even though I ran into the traveler by chance, you were the
udah lo
ones who
katain.
decided to follow me
Ade
and strike
sendiri.
up a
Ade
conversation
sendiri.
after I
Udah lo
left that
katain.
tavern.
Berarti beda berapa tahun sih sama ade lu? 4 tahun ya?
4 tahun.
That's true.
I'm willing to apologize
Main apaan lu?
if that's worth. I took the divine knowledge capsule
Lagi Archon
behind your
Quest.
back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk.
Mau buka
I felt
konten
that it
gua.
would be best for
Penasaran
no one
gua.
to interact with it before it had been properly studied.
Lah emang belum bisa kalau buka ini.
Kan Sumeru gua Archon Quest-nya belum kelar, kagak bakal bisa masuk.
After
Oh
all,
gitu.
You should be well aware, Scribe Al-Haytham. Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with you?
have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the academia. Do you really?
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence, I won't regard you as an enemy.
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to... And now you, Dia.
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been so boring that I spaced out. My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayani family, is friends with the Traveler and is currently recovering from her illness at home. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aru village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time getting back together with everyone here. But then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument. It ticked me off, and things went downhill from...
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds like your style.
That's more like it. I missed you all
Mana
so
nih main
much,
nih?
Candace.
Jel ini ya.
Whoa! What was that sound?
Kamu berdua dulu.
Itu bertiga ada
Fighting in a sandstorm.
Yeah,
Udah nongol,
just leave him to
nongol.
Candace. Don't worry.
Halo abang.
Nah,
mari.
The winds died down. Candace still is...
Gua kelarin satu
Put it
dialog,
that way.
gua login.
Oke, gua login.
Bos gue nggak ada kabar, jadi kita main.
Oke, kita pindah game dulu ya guys. Dadah, ya nggak ada yang nonton juga.
Lah, kemarin zero view yang nonton 1 kan. Lah, gue sendiri yang nontonin streaming.
Saya sudah gold 1 ya. Gimana ini? Coba dulu.
Makanya.
Coba dulu apa?
Pakai OTW ganteng.